So if you're a small business owner, perhaps you have heard of this thing called ChatGPT and you've signed up to the Pro plan and you've maybe done a few queries and searches and now you're feeling like, okay, now what? And you're not sure how to use this tool to the best of your ability and what other AI tools there are out there, what's worth the money, what's worth the time. We're going to go through all of that today. I have Adrian Smith here from Run Gopher. You've probably heard him on the podcast a couple of times with Glenn, and we're going to take it back to the very beginning. So we're going to go back to basics. We have a couple of points here about AI must-dos for any small business. Shall we get started?
Hello, friend.
Hello. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. AI must-dos, small business. Where do we start?
I think we just need to start. I think my first point
First
would
of
be,
many?
Yeah, it's we just need to start, and we need to start somewhere. I think a lot of small business owners just don't know what's ahead.
Yeah.
AI is here, and it's coming, and it's moving fast, and it's very overwhelming, and we don't know where to start. Like SMS has been around for 30 years and some businesses are only just starting to use that. So businesses are slow to adapt. But we need to start.
I think particularly small businesses as well, because it feels like the risk is a lot greater to be investing in these technologies that you may not feel confident that they're going to stick around or whatnot. So it's good to hear from you that they're staying.
Yes.
They're here. It's worth the investment.
Yes. And it is overwhelming. So you need to start. You need to just get onto ChatGPT. It's the easiest. You can sign up for a free plan and just understand what AI is. Talk to it, type like it's a human, use the voice feature if you want and talk to it. And just understand that AI is just Google on steroids. Like where we used to go to Google and say, where is the best restaurant? We can still do that using AI. The way that it gets information and indexes that is slightly different. It's not paid, so it's not like in Google you used to be able to pay to be on page one, make sure the SEO is up to date or use paid ads and you appear there. That's not how AI works anymore. It's really about, is this information useful to the end user?
Do you see that changing? Do you see in the future that businesses will be able to advertise on?
It's happening.
Okay.
AEO, AEO, agentic engine optimization, search optimization. That's SEO. But yeah, it is. So someone that I know, their referrals all come through ChatGPT now, not through Google.
But are they paying?
No.
Yeah. So do you see that as an opportunity for AI? Not that I want that to happen, but do you see that could be something that happens down the track?
Yeah, I wonder if they'll monetize it at some level. I don't think they will, only because I think about how you actually build LLMs, like a large language model, and the way that you get information. It would be really hard to monetize it. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you could, but I don't think that'll happen. They'll monetize it in other ways.
Yeah. Sorry for the sidetrack.
No, that's
curious.
Fine. So everything's relevant to the end user, and everything's cited, so you can see where all the information's come from. So you just got to start. You just got to understand, how does AI work? How can you use it in your business, and have an end goal. So maybe for this month, it's you just want to understand, and you want to use it to give you inspiration and ideas around projects.
Yeah.
Then say, hey, this is the project that I'm doing. I don't know where to start. Give me 10 ideas.
Yeah. And
it will just give you 10 ideas. It knows everything on the internet. So it's just asking it it's now better than a PhD student. And so it's very smart.
Yeah.
And it's very fast.
I find for myself as well what you said about speaking to it like a human. I think with Google, we have, as a society, have almost gotten into the habit of searching things on Google in a way to help Google find what we wanted to find, if that makes sense.
Best restaurant, Newcastle.
Yes. Yeah. Whereas I have found working with ChatGPT is I'll just brain dump or use the voice function and not overthink what I'm asking it, and I'll also sometimes ask it, do you need any more information, or what information can I provide you to get this done?
Yes.
And it's really helpful
Yes.
in that sense.
Yeah, so AI, LLMs use something called NLP, like natural language processing. And so you just talk to it as if you're talking to a human. And yeah, do ask those questions. Hey, this is what I'm trying to achieve. What questions do you need to ask me to get the best result? And it will say, okay, well, here's 5 questions. And then you answer the questions and it will build an outcome for you.
Yeah.
So point 1 is just start.
Yeah.
Just get started. Use ChatGPT, whatever it is, Gemini, doesn't matter. Just get started.
So for a beginner, let's talk platforms for a second. For a beginner, are you recommending, you said Gemini and ChatGPT. Everyone knows ChatGPT.
Yeah.
What other kind of programs are there that you would recommend for someone who is quite new to AI and wants to learn more about it and start to get used to these tools?
Those 2 are the easiest.
Yeah.
And they're free, like one's Google, one's OpenAI. Yeah, I would start there.
Cool.
And Gemini is more creative than ChatGPT. Well, depending on what model you use, but it's more creative. So it feels probably a little more human. ChatGPT, like 4.0 Mini, it feels more formal, more like a PhD student would talk. So Gemini is really, if you're a creative industry, like it's very good.
Yeah. Okay, so we've gotten over the hump of getting started.
Yes.
What is the next kind of must-do you would recommend for a small business?
Start to think big.
Okay.
Now, think big, start small.
Okay.
And so AI has allowed us, there's no boundaries now, and everyone has the same access to the same technology. So it doesn't matter what country, what place you live, like AI is accessible to everyone. And so, for instance, I was just at a conference. There's a 20-year-old who has just, in his 3rd month of business, done $1 million.
Wow.
Doing UGC using AI.
Okay.
So
kind of like the AI influencers and stuff,
Correct.
like it's not real people.
It's not real people selling product for beach towels or whatever they're selling. They're selling supplements. And so all they're getting is an AI model to hold a bottle and then put in the supplement kind of tag on. And that's all AI. He knew nothing about it before. He just figured it out. And so in his 3rd month, did $1 million. That's incredible. So you can think big, like, wow, what if AI it can probably do that? What if it can probably solve that problem?
Yeah.
And so the answer is yes, probably.
Yeah.
And then start small. Okay, that's the goal. Like, how do we really build this thing out? But what if we could just get an hour back this week? What would that look like?
Yeah.
And attached, like, I want to kick the soccer ball with I've got a 7-year-old son. I want to kick the soccer ball with him an hour a week this week. What is taking my time to stopping me to do that?
Yeah.
And it might be emails. It might be ideation for LinkedIn. It might be something. Okay, how can AI help me?
Yeah.
So think big, start small.
That's a really good point, because I think AI does feel so big and endless.
Yes.
And I don't think there is an issue with people thinking big. They think that AI can solve all their problems, but then they go, okay. And they don't actually get started on anything because they don't start small.
Yes. So start small and just have an outcome in mind. I just want to get an hour back this week. And then maybe next month I want to get 2 hours. And you start auditing your time and you understand, okay, well, I sink a lot of time into proposals, or I sink a lot of time into reading emails. Well, there's an app out there that can summarize your emails really quickly.
Yeah.
For me, I use something called Supernormal. I do a lot of video calls. Supernormal will listen to my call. It's on the call. It's like Fireflies, all these other kind of different ones. It'll listen. It'll create action points based on who said what, summarize the call, and then at the end of the meeting, once we all hit end, it sends that to everyone automatically. And so now I don't have to sit there after a meeting, itemizing action points and typing it out.
Yeah.
So I've saved 30 minutes before the call and 30 minutes after.
That's one of the biggest bottlenecks at the moment in my business. And I use, I can't remember what it's called, but another meeting note taker.
Yeah.
And that's not great.
Yeah.
So actually I'll look into that because at the moment I'm still getting the summary, but it's not providing the right action points.
Yeah.
And I'm still having to, it's saving me a little bit of time because it has the summary, but I'm still having to work out what those action points were and send those out manually. And yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. And if you have recurring meetings, especially really good with teams. So every day at 2:00 we have a team meeting and it says, okay, based on yesterday's meeting, Adrian said he would do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it creates action items and follow-ups.
Yeah.
And so that works really well as work. Yeah, that word. And you can link it to Slack as well so that all of those action points can get pushed to a Slack channel. That's where as a small business you start, okay, well, time is our biggest thing. We just don't have enough time.
Yep.
You start using AI for these small things and they do add up to saving you a significant amount of time.
Yeah. It sounds like time is a big barrier for small businesses, but that also, I guess, links to your team and hiring and scaling.
Yes.
Let's touch on that for a minute. Let's go to a quick break and then we'll come back and let's talk about hiring versus AI.
Okay.
If you're after personal financial advice, don't get it from a podcast. But if you want guidance tailored to your situation, head to moneypodcast.com.au and click Get Help. We'll connect you with one of our trusted professionals, financial advisors and mortgage brokers, who work with people right across Australia. No matter where you are, they can help. Now, before we get back to the show, a quick reminder to protect your financial life. That means having income protection sorted. It means having death cover if there's any debt or dependents relying on you. It means getting your personal insurance in order. Most people insure their car, they insure their house, but what about themselves? Sky Wealth, who support this podcast, are specialist financial advisors who can help you get the right cover in place. Their advice is often more comprehensive and better value than going direct through your super. Book a complimentary 15-minute chat at sky.com.au. That's skye.com.au. And they'll point you in the right direction.
Okay, so I guess a big topic with AI is the feeling that we're going to get replaced by AI as employees, but also from a small business perspective, being able to be more efficient with our resources and perhaps not having to hire someone might be attractive to some people.
Yes.
What's your position on hiring versus AI? Where can we use AI instead of hiring? Should we be doing that? Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. It's a good question because most people in small business, especially when they think about hiring, they hire to solve a problem. Mm-hmm. So, an example, I run a service business or whatever it is, and the phones don't stop ringing, and it takes me. Let's talk about a tradie.
Okay.
I install air conditioning, and I'm up in a roof trying to install air, and my mobile keeps ringing.
Yeah.
So what do? The more I answer the phone, the longer this job's going to take. If I don't answer the phone, I'm going to lose business and I won't have another job to go to. So it's a big tension.
Yeah.
So most people go, okay, well, I'm going to put my partner into that and just answer phones or hire a receptionist and they're just going to manage that. So what I would say now is I'll go, okay, well, stop for a second. Mm-hmm. You now have an opportunity because if you're a tradie, look up Sophie AI, SOPHIIE, Sophie AI. They're like a competitor of ours, but for trades, they do an exceptional job. So they have built an inbound virtual receptionist. So it handles all your calls. It'll book jobs. It has SMS, email involved. You can put your job quotes. It can quote jobs for you. It can do everything. It's incredible. Jacob and the team up there are awesome. And so suddenly you go, okay, instead of paying $65,000 a year for a receptionist, what if I could just get my calls answered, know that they've picked up, that they've been communicated with, and then at the end of the day when I sit down at my desk and I've crawled out of the roof, I can see all the calls, I can see all the meetings, all the quotes, everything.
Yeah.
You've saved yourself $65,000 But now you've actually answered all your phones, sent out more quotes, and so you've probably generated more business. So now, instead of hiring someone to solve that problem, you can now hire someone to join the team to install more air conditioners.
Yeah.
And so I would say before you hire someone, are you trying to just solve a problem because it's, the squeaky wheel? Or is there AI that can actually assist you in that so that you can actually do what you really want to do, and that's hire more people?
Yeah. Yeah. And perhaps it's even, if you do have to hire a receptionist or something, it's only a part-time receptionist, or say you have an existing receptionist, it's helping them do their job better and easier and faster. That's kind of how I'm looking at AI with my team. Like, I don't want or need AI to replace my team. I want it to help my existing team do things better and easier.
Yeah. So, build efficiencies in. So you might have a receptionist now, but they don't work after hours. And you get most of your calls after hours and it goes to a voicemail. And so, again, use an inbound AI. It sounds like a human. You would never know. And then you can capture all that work, and that means that your receptionist in the morning can get on with following up on quotes or payments or things like that. Yeah,
things that a human touch, I guess, is needed more so than sending out a quote.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So to finish up, I'd like to get into some really practical use cases of what our listeners can do to implement AI into their small business.
Yep.
What are some common use cases you see in your line of work that business owners can do?
Yep. Small business, and we talked about it before, but time is just a killer. You're doing all things and it's stressful. And so let's continue with our air conditioner man or electrician. And so for any small business, you are wearing multiple hats. You are the first point of contact most of the time. You're selling. You're then delivering on work. You're then sending out the invoice, chasing the invoice, and then trying to get some referral work from them. And so you move through all of these hats very quickly. And so what I would say to any small business owner is to start to audit what are those hats and what is the time sink in any given week. And so, for instance, I was just chatting to a business owner and they've got $50,000 in overdue invoices owed to them, which is scary for any business.
Yeah.
And the issue they have is that they have to put on, we're your friend, we are, let's deliver on the project, and you get really close, high touch with these, mostly other small business owners sometimes. And then it comes to chasing money and you have to change.
Yeah. And you have to go from good cop to bad cop.
Exactly right. And so really practically a few tips. Let's talk about debt collection, for instance.
Yep.
So what I did in our business is I created an accounts alias and I named them, and any invoice chasing came from them.
Yep.
And have you done that as well? You're nodding like...
Yeah, I do have a bookkeeper in my business who I kind of like palm that off to. And sometimes I will do it myself because they need the founder or the director to be like, pay me.
Yes.
But I've recommended that to other friends who the team is just them.
Yes.
And they feel awkward about it. So yeah, I said, just make Sarah's your accounts person.
And she's pushy and
she's,
she'll get it done.
Yeah.
And so create a little alias. We've gone one step further in our business. We created a voice bot.
Oh, cool.
So that as soon as in zero an invoice goes to overdue, an AI calls them and says, hey, invoice 707's due. And so you can now separate like these two big hats that you got to wear, debt collection with, execution of the work. Then the other one would be, okay, you are doing all things, lead generation, you're trying to manage all of your time, all of these things. And so I would start to think about, okay, what are the other hats in my business? And so you think about lead gen. Where AI is really good is ideation for that stuff, because you got to think, okay, well, if you're an electrician, there are so many electricians out there. How do you differentiate yourself? And so you can just say, hey, I'm an electrician. kind of scrape the internet, find out what ads other people are doing or how others are getting business, and give me some ideas on that.
Yeah.
And so now you're not just, going from one job to another, hoping that there's another job after that, but you can start to think about, okay, here's some really simple ideas, and everyone's going to say magnets. Leave a magnet, so we send that out, or do a letterbox drop, or build relationships with real estate agents so that you've got all this work with project management.
Hey, it's Glenn here. I'm in the room while they're recording. We did some recording
I
the
was
other
literally
day.
just thinking that.
Tell him the context of it, though.
So we were doing a recording of yesterday of
What was this of?
how to get your first 10 clients without ads. And verbatim, Glenn's like, magnets.
Oh, no.
Letterbox drop.
I didn't say magnets. I said, if you're getting started as a tradie, there is no harm if you're quoting a set of downlights on a street and you're there.
Oh, yeah.
Drop 10 cards in 5, 10 different houses and go, I'm in the area working. You might snag a client.
Yes.
That's all.
But if it
I'm a
doesn't
boomer,
work,
though. Yeah.
if it doesn't work, then we can use AI.
No, and I think the point is, though, okay, let's dive into fridge magnets. Because everyone's going to say, I'm an electrician, call me if you need me. But what if there was something more quirky on that fridge magnet?
Yeah.
Like what is it that sticks in someone's mind that says, okay, well, instead of the friend, like it's a better design, it says something, like it's more catchy.
This is a very diplomatic response.
It's a very diplomatic response. But I must say, Alex Hormozi, he's just about to release his next book, and this is he sent out fridge magnets to everyone that had bought a book previously.
Okay.
As my event. And so that's really cool because in an industry that typically doesn't do fridge magnets, he's suddenly going, oh, there's a reminder on my fridge of this incredible event that's coming up.
Yeah. And
so I would say fridge magnets aren't bad, but if that is the sole thing that you are relying on as an electrician for go-to business, A, they're costly, B, you got to make sure that they actually say something that makes people remember you.
Yeah.
Because if I deliver a fridge magnet and my competitor delivers a fridge magnet, why would they keep mine over someone else's?
Yeah, that's a good distinction, is using AI to differentiate. The enemy here is not the fridge magnet,
No.
but we can use AI to help us differentiate our fridge magnet to a competitor's, or perhaps come up with a different idea that's not a fridge magnet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's has something to do with, maybe it's still a magnet, but it's a different, shape, or it has a different function or something.
Well, when you get one that says Glenn James Electrical versus call me when the lights go out, just even that difference in branding to go, okay, another electrical, oh, the lights are out. Call me when the lights go out.
Yeah.
And there's a QR code that links to a page on 3 things to check before you call an electrician to save you $500.
Yeah.
And it's like, check your fuse box. So how do you, again, differentiate yourself from the competitor?
Yeah.
Fridge magnet is not the issue here. And for getting initial clients, I agree, they're a good start. But if 2 deliver in the same street in the same week, why are they going to call you?
Yeah. And I think what's cool about AI as well is that you can go back and forth with it a little bit. Like chances are, depending on your prompt, it'll spit out some very generic kind of spiel of what you should put on your fridge magnet. But kind of work with it and be like, that sucked. Like, give me, I need this, I want you to change this about it, or that's too generic, like, let's get more specific or something. And then you can work on something that's like really nice and unique.
I love that we just derailed into
should we go get This is Business fridge magnets?
It's our first 10 listeners.
Yeah, we'll send the first 10 listeners a fridge magnet. So, okay, ideation as well. I think something else that we can use for AI, particularly in small business, is managing the day-to-day, like the operations. I'm asking selfishly because that's what I want to use AI for.
Yeah.
How can we use AI to streamline operations?
You got to, it has to be a time audit. Like,
Yep.
where are you sinking all of your time? And again, this is the AI versus automation. Sometimes you just need better automation and you need a better system. So, like for you, use Asana. Is Asana the thing that is passive or active? And so, in any project, Asana is great because you put in things to it and it's a reminder of things I need to do versus can it prompt me on what is the best next 10 things to do to get to the outcome in a faster, more efficient way.
So you're saying in this instance, Asana is a passive tool because we need to feed it the information in order for it to do its job.
And it's static.
Yeah.
The columns stay where they stay.
Yeah.
The notes stay where they stay, and it's great. But I would say, okay, well, how do we then supercharge Asana?
Yep.
How do we make it like another employee? And so attach it to an LLM or ChatGPT and go, okay, based on this project, are we going to achieve the deadline in the time? If not, what are the bottlenecks in this project?
Yeah.
And it will read all the information and go, well, no, you won't achieve it because you're stuck on this. Or here are some bottlenecks that we see. Or based on other projects we've seen, this is a really difficult time and you've allowed 3 days when it should take 5.
Yeah.
But again, shit in, shit out. If you've got really shitty data, AI is not going to help you. It's just going to tell you rubbish.
Yeah.
So any system, there's a thing called Motion. You've probably seen it. Like it can manage your calendar. And so it can say, okay, well, I've got a project and it's going to take 2 hours. It'll shift your calendar around to get you to the outcome faster and the most efficient way to fill your days. Things like that are really helpful. But things like Asana, Monday.com, they do work management, whether it's Trello, you like all of those tools.
Yeah.
You got to think, how do I make it more active? How do I get it to talk to me rather than me just looking at a blank page? And
yeah, so it kind of sounds like AI is the foundations for us to use these tools better.
yeah,
And
it brings data alive.
yeah, and is almost a bit of a user manual, I guess, of like, I have all these tools, how can I be using them better? How can I get these tools to talk to each other based on this issue that I'm trying to solve, this problem? But I think you're right, it comes down to what is the issue you're trying to solve, not like, let's just make my business better. Like, what does that mean? Like, you have to get quite specific with the issue you're trying to solve.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So as you were talking about, especially with the debt collection and like the AI agents and things and the fridge magnets, it just got me thinking about the time that would need to be spent managing these technologies and technology glitches. And I guess a common fear would be that an AI agent perhaps calls the wrong person and quotes the wrong quote or something like that. What is required from a maintenance perspective?
Most of the time, it's not as much as you think.
Okay.
So, for instance, we do voice agents, like I've said. We've got enough guardrails that it won't say anything that it shouldn't. So it doesn't make anything up. Whereas a human gets emotional and says, I really need to win this client, so I'm going to tell them we do something we don't do.
Yeah.
So guardrails are built in, but you need to understand how to prompt and be clear on that.
Yep.
But often once it's set up, it's set and forget. The only thing that you need to manage is when LLMs get better, there might be a better model for what you're trying to achieve.
Okay.
And so that just becomes something that happens. The models get better over time. But you should just make sure that the outcome is what you're wanting to achieve. And if it's not, then you need to make some adjustments in the prompt.
Yeah. Okay. So it's less about the ongoing maintenance. It's more so keeping agile and understanding that these technologies are constantly evolving. And this time next year, if not this time next month, there's probably going to be a better version of what you're using that can be faster, more efficient, perhaps cheaper to run. So just kind of staying on top of it.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Okay, well, that was a really good wrap up for small businesses. We're all going to go away now and make fridge magnets using AI. Where can people find you?
Yeah, rungopher.com or find me on LinkedIn, Adrian Smith.
Perfect. If this episode has been helpful for you or you think it can be helpful for another small business owner, please send it over to them. You can find Adrian on LinkedIn. You can find me on Instagram at @ByKaylaMalss, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Any advice is general financial advice only, which does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Because of that, you should consider if the advice is appropriate to you and your needs before acting on the information. If you do choose to buy a financial product, read the Product Disclosure Statement, PDS, and Target Market Determination, TMD, and obtain appropriate financial advice tailored to your needs. Simo Interactive Pty Ltd, the publisher of this podcast, and Glenn James are authorised representatives of Money Sherpa Pty Ltd, which holds Financial Services Licence 451289. Opinions or comments from any guests on the podcast are theirs and not those of the host or the publisher or their respective license holders.